All right, guys. Dreadnought's back today with a new review, and we're going to be looking at Star Wars The Black Series Force Awakens Resistance Trooper. Not much has changed here in the packaging. You see the figure there in the window. Nice, cool artwork here at the bottom. Says Resistance Trooper. Not much going on the side over here. And then on this side, we've got the number 10 for the wave. And then there's a look at the back of the box for the bio. And you can pause that and read it now if you'd like. So let's crack this bad boy open and get a look at him. All right, and here's our Resistance Trooper out of the package, and looking okay overall. I definitely like some of the things Hasbro did here with the sculpting and some of the paint apps on the figure. But if you guys are a fan of my videos, you know I'm a huge troop builder, so I was really anticipating this figure and buying multiples of it, only to be really let down with articulation. I think Hasbro left a lot to be desired when it comes to articulation on this figure, and I'll get to that here in a moment. So let's take a closer look. All right, and as we take a closer look at the figure, I definitely like what Hasbro did with this helmet. I have heard reports that there's a green helmet alternate version out there, but looking at the helmet now, I think that maybe that's an unpainted version, because it looks like this whole helmet was designed and it was in green, and it has several nice symbols and stuff painted on or sculpted in. And as you can see through here, then it looks like a brown wash was put over the entire helmet, even around on the back here. But you can see the green shining through, there on top and around the visor up here as well. And then it's got that transparent yellow plastic, over the eyes there. Now this does flip open, and you just have to be real cautious with doing so because it has to get around those goggles. But once you get it up, it's easy to move up there, and then you can get a nice look at the face sculpt underneath, which I think Hasbro did a good job with it. Nice mustache sculpted in there, and you can kind of get a look at his eyes. No way to remove this to look really closely at it, but looks good underneath there for what it is. I do wish the helmet was removable, of course, but it is made into the sculpt, and you see the chin strap down there. But some very nice detail in here, the ribbing around the sides there, all looks good. The neck is kind of a more faded color. I wish they'd have matched his skin tone up a little bit better there, but overall it looks okay. And then looking down through the chest, definitely like this wash they used over the jacket, and some nice sculpting in there with the pockets and the ribbing. All looks really good, and then that wash over it to give it that aged look goes through the sleeves as well. All looks nice. Not much paint app on the hands, but the sculpting looks good enough. Same thing over here, more of that wash, more of the same. A few silver paint apps on buckles and stuff here on the back. And I like these straps, they look very nice, sculpted in. And you can see here, it almost looks like this was green and had a brown wash over it, or they did a green brush over it. Can't really tell there, but there's definitely some green and brown mixed in here. And it has those pockets and stuff sculpted in. Nice silver paint app here on the belt. And then looking through the legs, no real paint down here on the legs themselves, just brown plastic. Not much going on. They're sculpted okay, but not a whole lot of detail to them. And then I really like the boots. Nice sculpting on the boots. I just like the way they look. A lot of detail with the straps and everything in there. All the way around, and then on the back, and then they have that nice wash over them as well, which looks really good. Has that aged look, that worn look. So yeah, everything looks really good on that. Does have some shallow peg holes on the bottom of the feet, but yeah, overall looks nice. And up next, the figure came with one accessory. It's this blaster rifle, which looks like it's just basically silver plastic. Not a huge amount of paint apps on it. Looks like they just did a brown wash over it, which looks okay, looks aged, but it's kind of plain. Has that same end that we've seen with several of the blasters from The Force Awakens, but some nice sculpting down through here. It is a little bit bent, and actually I bent it with my hands, and it kind of shaped up. It was really bent in the package, but a little heat and it'll straighten it out completely. So, it looks okay overall. And as we look at articulation, the head will move up a great amount like so, moves down all the way into the chest like so. Does rotate around very smoothly, no pivot. And of course, we already looked at that mask opening up. The arm moves out a great amount like so. No upper bicep swivel, but it will rotate all the way around. Single jointed elbow that does rotate out and in. Does have a hinge on the hand. Moves up that far, down that far, and does swivel. No ab crunch from what I can tell at all, which is a real bummer, and no waist rotation at all either. It almost acts like it does want to move, and I can't tell if that's the rubber from the jacket or not, But I've really tried to force this thing, and it just seems like if it's going to move, it's going to break something. So I'm going to say no waist rotation. The hips probably would move out a good amount if you could get them around that jacket, but that completely hinders anything moving. It does have upper leg rotation, which is really smooth on it. Has double jointed knees, but you can't do a whole lot with them. The legs, of course, won't move forward much or back because of that jacket there. So it really bums me out as well. The foot does have a hinge on it. Will hinge down like so, up like so. It doesn't rotate around, but it does have that nice ankle rocker. And here's our Resistance Trooper next to Poe and Finn. And this guy's measuring in at right at 6 inches tall. And I think they scale pretty well together. And here he is next to Rey over here on the right and a First Order Stormtrooper here on the left. And these guys are virtually the same height. And here he is next to a Marvel Legends Ultimate Captain America just for fun. All right, so wrapping up here, overall, I got to say, I definitely like the look of this figure. I think Hasbro did a great job with the sculpting, and the paint came out really nice. The nice wash on the boots and the jacket we looked at earlier, and the nice detail on the helmet as well. My real issue with the figure is, one, with articulation being so limited around the waist and with the legs. You know, I can't really rate the figure a buy. As a collector, I really expect more out of the Black Series when it comes to articulation. Now, if articulation isn't important to you, or, you know, you're a completionist like me, you know, the figure's probably still going to be a buy for you. But the other issue is with the troop building of the figure. You know, these guys aren't stormtroopers. They shouldn't all have the same face. So I think Hasbro really needs to give us another version of this figure, whether it be a new humanoid face sculpt or, you know, an alien head swap, something to differentiate this guy from another guy. So when we troop build them, you know, they don't all look the same. And I know there is that green helmet version supposedly floating out there as well, you know, in an early run or whatever. And yeah, I'll probably buy that if I see one, just to differentiate him somewhat. But he has the same face sculpt on that figure, so that's really not the, you know, the alternate version of this figure. So, you know, I want Hasbro to do something like that. If they do, then that might lean me more towards rating the figure a buy, so at least you can troop build him. So we'll see what Hasbro does with that. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the review. If so, please give me a big thumbs up. Facebook, Twitter, Twitter, links in the description below as always. Hey, please subscribe if you hadn't already. We got plenty more content coming down the road. Thank you guys again. Have a great week, and we'll see you soon. I think they scale well with each other, and I'm going to knock down every light in the place.